Come.
Detective Chief Superintendent Butler, sir.
I hope you can explain the bloody shambles of this so far, Butler, because your Commander Hatherill has singularly failed in that respect. Now he wants to put you in charge.
I'll be running the investigation a little differently, sir.
Millen tells me you're known as One Day, because that's how long it takes you to catch criminals.
I wouldn't know about that.
You understand whose money these blackguards stole?
Bank, sir.
The Queen, man. Her Majesty's mail. Every single note bears the likeness of our sovereign. This is not just a robbery. This is an attack on the very cornerstone of England. And you, Butler, better remedy that very rapidly indeed.
I'll do my best, sir.
I have to assure the PM you're the man for the job. Otherwise, it'll be my job, my judgment that will be questioned. And I do not plan on having my judgment questioned, Butler. There's been quite enough of that already.
Quite so, sir.
Right, I'm putting you in charge of the investigation, but I shall expect immediate progress one day.
Of course, sir.
On the mail train robbery. Despite the Postmaster General offering a £10,000 reward to the first person giving information leading to the apprehension and conviction of the persons responsible for the robbery, police have as yet failed to make any arrests.
Tom.
Afternoon, sir. Do they know?
Not yet. As you've probably heard, the Prime Minister is yelling at the Home Secretary, the Home Secretary is yelling at the Postmaster General, and all of them are yelling at me. We need this fixed, Tom, very fast.
Mr. Millen, can I ask what you're doing here?
Who are you?
Daily Express.
What the hell are you doing here?
DCS Butler, isn't it?
You've got the national press in the middle of your incident room.
Well, there's been a huge amount of interest.
We are 5 days on. Why don't we know who's responsible?
We've given C11 a list of nicknames the thieves use. We're waiting for the results. In the meantime, we've got roadblocks across the county. The thieves told the train staff not to move for half an hour, so we're searching a radius of 30 miles.
Where did you start?
Pardon?
Did you search outward from the crime scene or inwards from the 30-mile perimeter?
Outwards from the scene. Well, it's all very well in hindsight.
All the indications are this is a London gang. You only have jurisdiction up to the county line. As of now, the flying squad, DCS Butler here, runs this case.
What about us?
You'll run the operation. Paperwork, the exhibits, and the press. I don't talk to the press. We'll nick them and bring them to you.
It won't just land in your lap. Come.
Sir, we've had a tip-off. Call from a local farmer. We think he might have found the hideout.
Seven miles from where the train was stopped. Not visible from the road. Perfect hideout.
Don't let anyone in other than a police officer. Sir. Stay on this spot till you're told otherwise.
Yes, sir.
2,631,784. Is there any grub left, please? I'm starving.
Get rid of any signs he was ever here.
I didn't think we'd need that much, did I? This is supposed to be the crime of the bleeding century.
They're looking for military. We're making it look like a brick band.
Afternoon, Tom. Hope you left me some nice dabs.
What to do, Morris? First-class job mandatory. Make sure you have whatever you need. I don't want to be at trial and hear you ordered another week. 3 more men. You get here has got to convict those bastards. A job like this must have been planned down to the last inch. But it's a mess in there. Why leave the place in a state like this? What happened here?
Any idea who's behind it?
Not yet.
Well, gentlemen, shall we get started?
How many do you want?
6.
6. Sure 6 is enough? Big job.
Sure.
Who do you want?
Frank Williams and Steve Moore. Jack Slipper and his DS, Neville. Tommy Thorburn. Lou Van Dyke. Sid Bradbury to run the office. We're 5 days behind, and we haven't even started. Talk to your informants. Who was away those days? Who's been missing since? Who's been keeping an unusually low profile? Snouts or no? The whole squad is ready to give priority to train robbery inquiries. If you need something, you'll get it. If you don't, tell me.
Why are we the chosen ones?
It's a London job. Most likely south of the river. You lot know the manners, the characters, the histories. You've got the contacts. This will come down to information on the street.
How is our list of suspects?
Right now, a yard long. MacArthur's tipped off C11 with a list of nicknames. They're working on it.
You believe what you read in the papers? It's an aristocratic loner IRA mastermind.
I don't want to hear about the papers ever. Sid here will run the office, log the calls, the leads. Morris Ray's on forensics at Leatherslade Farm. Early turn is officially 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. I'll expect you here till at least 10. Late turn is 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. I'll expect you started by 9.
Yeah, nice one.
You think I'm joking? You try turning up late and see where your bollocks end up.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
This was a large gang. And we will nick every single one of them. Starting now.
I'll run you in fire.
11.
4.
9.
17.
32.
32?
Very enthusiastic snout.
My snout reckons criminal activity's all but at a standstill. Lots of pissed off villains out there because we're all over them.
Cross-reference the names, Sid, and see which ones come up most.
What about your list, Governor? The one from C11, you were checking the results. Whose name's on that list?
John Thomas Daly, Douglas Gordon Goody, Roy John James, Bruce Richard Reynolds, Charles Frederick Wilson.
Bloody Reynolds. Makes sense.
Sense of what?
We've been tailing him for a while. Had him marked as being involved in safe-blowing raids. We picked up a mate of his, Billy Still, a while back. Past few months, Reynolds been going out on a motorbike, Buckinghamshire direction.
Whereabouts in Buckinghamshire?
Well, we never found out. Whenever he was on the bike, we couldn't tail him without being spotted.
How long ago was this?
6 months, maybe longer. We fancied him for the airport robbery at Comet House and all.
Who did he meet?
Goody, Wilson, James, all part of the same firm. South London boys.
Frank, bring me everything you've got on Reynolds.
Let's have those names, boys.
Right. Early 30s, Battersea boy. Got an interest in an antiques business, but that's just a front.
What's his form?
In and out of trouble since he was a lad. House break-in, shop break-in, 2 stints in Borstal. Lasted 4 days on national service before scarpering, ended up in Wandsworth. Various thefts, more time in the scrubs.
What sort of thefts?
Handbags, 2 overcoats, 8 pairs of slippers, and a portable wireless.
What was his last conviction?
30th of May this year, poaching.
Poaching?
Yeah, 10 quid fine, Ongar Magistrates Court.
10 quid? And you think he fixed up the train robbery, give here?
Yeah, but the thing is, he was only ever licked for small stuff. But he's got a reputation for classier stuff. Odds on he was part of the BOAC airport raid, maybe even the ringleader. We were told that him and his firm were planning something. That's why we put a tail on him.
One question, then. If this Reynolds was a potential ringleader of the airport robbery, and if you think he was the brains behind the train robbery, and if you had a tail on him, how come we haven't got a bloody clue where he is? I want him in my cells, Frank, now. Oh, get on it. Go on.
Yes, sir.
You sure you don't recognise anyone?
No.
Is that the train driver?
Yeah, he's not picking anyone out. Says it was too dark and they were all wearing balaclavas.
Well, that would make things difficult. Oh, sod. Taking a whack like that for doing his job. Have you checked the known addresses for Reynolds and his firm?
No sign of any of them.
Good. Nothing says guilty like a disappearing act. Mugshots of suspects up there.
So,
How'd they get hold of that farm?
Mr. Field, Leonard Field, came to me, I'd say, on or about 21st of June this year. He had the particulars of sale from Midland Marts, the agents for Mr. Rickson, the vendor. I did the conveyancing for Leatherslade Farm. It's all here.
Your clerk, Brian Field, introduced Leonard Field to your firm.
Yes.
But they're not related?
No relation at all. Complete coincidence. I suppose you could say it's a funny thing.
How did Brian Field know Leonard Field?
I believe they met in connection with the trial of Harry Field, Leonard's brother, over horse doping.
Would you have expected Brian Field to view Leatherslade Farm with Leonard Field prior to purchase?
No.
Yeah, he did. The owner, Mrs. Rickson, has a very clear memory of it. Unusual for a solicitor to accompany a buyer on a first viewing.
Perhaps Mr. Field wanted a second opinion.
Leonard Field paid the deposit money to you.
£555 in cash.
Which you then paid to Midland Mart.
Standard procedure.
Did you issue Mr. Leonard Field with a receipt?
What? Sorry?
A receipt for the transaction. I don't see one in this file here.
Do you know, I can't remember.
You wrote to the vendor's agent requesting vacant possession on Leatherslade Farm upon exchange of contracts rather than completion.
I did.
Possession normally occurs on completion, not exchange. Why was this different?
The purchaser wanted to carry out extensive redecoration. He wanted to start as soon as possible.
And you signed the contract on Leonard Field's behalf. He didn't sign it at all.
All absolutely legal.
You represented Gordon Goody at his trial for the BOAC airport robbery.
I believe we did, and that he was acquitted.
PC Milner?
Afternoon, sir. Exhibits officer, Aylesbury sent me. They said you needed help.
Yes, this whole area needs scouring. Look around, see what you can find, lay it out. Any prints? Palms, fingers, boots or feet? Let me know.
Right, sir. Yes, sir.
Carry on.
Mrs. Clark?
Yes?
We've come about the garage to rent. We rang earlier. Saw the ad in the newsagent on Castle Road.
Yeah, do you live locally?
No, but we're often in Bournemouth on business. It's ideal for us.
Oh, no, I prefer to rent to people from the area, really.
What about if we agreed a slightly higher price than you mentioned in the advert?
Oh, I don't know.
3 months in advance? That would all be in cash. That's what, £7, 10 shillings. All up front. Now.
Let me get you the key.
Roger Cordery, florist from Brighton, and Mr. William Ball.
Yeah. Now, the woman who owns the garage is a policeman's widow. So as soon as they gone, she called in. We went down to the garage. They scarpered separately. Well, we chased them down and brought them in.
Did they leave anything in the garage?
They did. Austin A35 van. Bowl had the keys on him. And we found this inside.
Bloody hell. Did you count it?
£56,047 in ones and fives. Those are the keys Bowl had on him when he was arrested.
There's an address here. Where'd the money in the suitcase come from, Roger?
A fellow I met at Brighton Races.
Name?
Freddie.
Freddie what?
Just Freddie.
You met him before?
No.
Seen him since?
No.
And he gave you all his cash?
Yes.
You best tell him we got it then, hadn't you? Got an address?
Everything all right?
Yeah, fine.
You don't look fine.
Oh, some back pain.
Friend Freddie give you anything else to look after? Got any other vehicles in the area?
No.
So the Rover 105R, registration TLX 279, that we found at Miss Saunders' house in Hensbury Avenue an hour ago, is that Freddie's or yours? Your mate Bowl had the key on his keyring. And the 6 suitcases we found inside containing 78,982 quid in used banknotes. Is that Freddie's or yours? Wimborne Road, you're staying, above the florist. The brown briefcase there, with £5,060 in £5 and £1 notes. Freddie's, yours, and the £840 in the bedroom under the pillow. Is that Freddie's? And the £160, 3 shillings and threepence that you had on you when they brought you in. Is that Freddie's too? In total, £141,218, 1 shilling and threepence halfpenny. Freddie's a figment, Caudry. It's all yours. Where'd you get it?
It's from the train robbery.
Who else was on the job?
Never said I was on the job. Only that's where the money's from. And that's all you get.
What's the matter with you, man? You've got worms?
I've got a key. Up mid Jacksie.
You've got a what up you or where?
Shoved it up there when they first brought me in. It's for the flat in Wimborne Road. Didn't think Bill would give his up. I think it's stuck. You get a doctor.
There's up at the wind up. Front page this morning.
What's that?
What's what? Caudry's Brighton. Reynolds is South London. It's at least 2 farms.
That makes sense. Witnesses on the train said there could have been 20 blokes.
Mark up anyone associated with Caudry and anyone associated with Reynolds.
Then check against that new list you just been rated.
It's not a list, Frank.
You going straight in? We've been working all night.
It's nearly 9. Early turn starts in 7 minutes. Hope you're going to make me happy.
It's my mission in life, Tom. Over here. The whole place was cleaned down, but whoever was there left quite a bit behind. We're working slowly. So far, thumb marks, finger marks, left palm prints, right palm prints. Ian hasn't even started on the utensils and the food containers yet. It's going to take a fair while longer.
So these prints are just one person?
No. Different. Definitely not just one person.
All that planning, they leave these bits behind.
Thank God they did. Well, at least now we've got these prints, we can start working through possible matches. That's a long job, though.
Yeah. Start with these names. Keep the list to yourself.
Make sure we have a carefully logged. We're searching for hairs, fibres and bloodstains. Any items giving positive presumptive tests will be retained.
So you'll want hair samples from anyone we bring in?
Head and pubic. We found hairs in sleeping bags and a pair of underpants. Find a match?
Have them by the short and curlies.
Come in.
Oh, sorry, sir. Sirs.
More evidence from the farm, is it?
Yellow paint found by the vehicles. We think used to paint them.
Put it over there, Milner. I'll look at it later.
Okay. You know what else you can find?
Got everyone breathing down our necks. Can't clock off early, can we?
Plenty of tip-offs coming through. These are the ones that look kosher.
Lovely chisel.
Really? Well, you tell him from me that he owes Jack Slipper a big favour. Yeah, what do you want me to? Tame?
I'm taking our lads down the Red Lane before home. Morale booster for the long hours. Do you fancy it?
Work to do. Something bothering you, Frank?
Why'd you bring me in on this if you don't trust me?
Who says I don't trust you?
They told me working for you would be like this, but I didn't believe them. An investigation lives on information, shared information. Otherwise, we can't do our job. But you keep everything close to your chest. Why?
You're the best informed officer in South London, Frank. Because you drink in the same pubs as these villains, you talk to the same people. But the wrong bit of chat, just accidental, all our work will be blown open.
Is that what you think of me?
I've had cases destroyed by one stray word, not here.
My snouts give me tip-offs, never the other way round. I am bringing you first-class information, and you are giving me nothing. Not your top names, not what evidence is coming in. You won't even come for a bloody drink. You are leading a squad, Tom. A squad works best together.
Lads will be waiting for you, Frank.
Right, come on, he's not coming. Other way, lad.
Oh, I love it, see it. There you go. Right, here we go. Good morning, lads.
He frightens the flipping life out of me. Every time I see him looking over, I think, what's he going to shout at me now for?
Walks right into that working hours one.
Don't he have a home to go to?
They reckon the yard is his home. Cheers.
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 You all right, sir?
Yeah. Cheers, lads.
Here, Jock. I'll walk the rest of the way. Wouldn't want the engine to wake up. All right.
leave your details with the constable. Thank you. So, Mr. Ahern was giving Mrs. Hargreaves her regular lift to work when his motorbike engine cut out. So they decided to go for a walk in the woods while it cooled down, which is where they spotted this.
£100,900, sir.
Roughly the same amount as Caudry had, a little bit less.
So that's how they're dividing it, 100 grand each. But whose was it? What was it doing in those woods?
Well, Morris and his men in white coats have lifted 13 prints with the fingerprint department, but we found something even better. A receipt from a restaurant in Hengeland, West Germany. It's dated of February this year. The receipt is made out to Herr and Frau Field. Brian Field, employee of your friend and solicitor, John Weeder.
Good. Mr. Field, you arranged the purchase of Leatherslake Farm?
If I'd have known it was going to turn out to be such a rum-do, I wouldn't have done the conveyancing.
Of course you wouldn't, sir. Do you mind me asking where you were on Friday the 9th of August, the day after the robbery?
I was at the office. Usual working hours, normal day. Then I went home and went to bed.
Any visitors that night?
No, just me and the wife. Very quiet.
On the weekend?
We went to a neighbour's christening party on the Sunday.
Very nice. Well, thank you very much, sir. Just had to clear that up.
May I?
Yes, of course, yeah. Cheerio. He's lying about having had no visitors. Derby Police received a call from one of Brian Field's neighbours. They rang because they'd noticed a large number of vehicles going in and out of Field's driveway on the night of the 9th of August. The trouble is, the witness wouldn't make a written statement. Didn't want to make it official.
What else do we have on him?
Maurice Ray confirmed that Brian Field's prints were on the receipt from Germany on the holdall with the notes in. But we can't prove the notes in the holdall were from the robbery because the bloody banks didn't keep records of most of them.
Well, that stays within these walls. I don't want anyone getting wind of that. Field goes on the list of suspects. Who have we eliminated?
We've eliminated Pitts, Kehoe, Sansom, Robinson, Kramer, Hayden-Smith, Ambrose and Shakeshaft, leaving us with Lilly, Smith, Daly, Wilson, White, Pembroke, Goody, James, Welch and Reynolds.
Connections between them?
Field represented Goody. Goody is a known associate of Wilson and Reynolds. Reynolds is Daly's brother-in-law, suspected of the airport robbery last year. James was the suspected driver on that. Welch is connected to Caudry, who's already confessed. Lilly is Welch's alibi and vice versa. Smith's worked with Wilson on a number of occasions.
Sir!
Can you not see we're working here, Slipper?
Very sorry, sir. You're wanted upstairs. DCS Millen, and he's got Commander Atherall with him.
What solid evidence have we got connecting this lot with the robbery or the farm?
None at all.
Not until the full forensics and fingerprints come back.
Well, get somewhere. You do your jobs. The clock is ticking. Frank, come with me. Am I tight straight?
Yes, fine.
Don't speak unless I tell you, and don't say anything that contradicts me.
You sure you want me in there?
Of course I want you in there. You're my best officer.
George and I have agreed we're going to publish photographs of all the wanted men and their wives via posters, newspaper releases and television news bulletins as of this evening.
No, you can't do that.
We need to demonstrate we're fully aware who's behind it.
We'll demonstrate that by nicking them.
And the public are our best allies on this.
The public will only get in the way.
Where are your main suspects right now, Tom?
We don't have exact locations on all of them.
How many do you have exact locations on?
2. By turning this into a public manhunt, you'll be destroying any chance you have of... Are you just going to sit there and say nothing, Frank?
Well, I thought you, DCS Butler's right. You name these people, they'll know we're onto them, send them underground, and that'll make them harder to find, not easier.
Don't agree. They'll have nowhere to hide.
They've got money spilling out their pockets. They won't be short of friends. Right now, we have the upper hand because they don't know what evidence we have or who we suspect. The moment they get an inkling of that, we lose power. Secrecy is our best weapon. Do not tell them what we know.
The public is starting to think these men are like modern-day Robin Hoods. The press think we don't know what we're doing. We can't go on like this.
I'm not running this for public opinion or the press.
Maybe not. But both of them are making the Home Secretary anxious. And he's passing his anxieties down the line.
Why would we put their mugshots all over the country? What does that achieve? When has that ever worked before?
We're in uncharted territory, Tom. This is the biggest crime this country's ever seen.
Is the DPP in favour?
They've voiced their concerns.
If you put these men's faces on a wanted poster without all the evidence in place, you are jeopardising the chances of a fair trial.
Frank's right.
We're prepared to take that risk.
I want it put on record that I'm protesting this decision in the strongest possible terms.
Noted. That'll be all, Tom. Frank?
You all right? I want some air. Fancy having my job one day, Frank?
Never thought about it?
I hope you haven't. Remember this. No matter who you are, how high you go, there's always a wanker boss.
Cheers, fella.
Today, police investigating the mail train robbery took the unprecedented step of publishing the photographs of the wanted men and their wives. A large reward is being offered for information as to the whereabouts of the gang. In particular, Bruce Reynolds, who is suspected of masterminding the robbery, in which over £2 million was stolen.
Dear Mr. Butler, I swear I saw one of them robbers yesterday in my local shop. He was buying sausages. I knew he was not from round here because he was wearing smart shoes. Yours sincerely, Gladys Williams.
Thanks a bundle, Frank. What have they done? Ever since those wanted posters went out, phones are ringing off the hook, mail's being delivered in sacks, and it's all bollocks.
Well, not all of it, is it?
99 out of 100. I've had Bruce Reynolds spotted travelling on a coach across Switzerland in Swiss national costume, grey beard and a feathered hat. Roy James has been seen on practically every racing track in the world. Jimmy White, his wife and their white poodle were seen climbing in the Austrian Alps. And Buster Edwards is apparently operating as a mercenary soldier in the Belgian Congo. What idiot had the idea to release those photos? Who there? Millen. I should have a word. The great British public only ever adds to the confusion. How's the old grey fox coping?
Dear Flying Squad, I know nothing about the train robbery, but I do suggest that you question Princess Margaret. I've seen her in a pub, and she hangs around with the right rum lot.
Tom, I heard what Millen and Hatherell did to you.
Just tell me, when did they last solve a case this way?
Move into an office on that floor and it's all politics.
Pray I never do.
I pray you don't too, Tom.
I can't do it, Morris, not if they keep hobbling me like this.
I thought you might need a piece of good news. Partial prints. Taken from the cellophane wrapper over Johnson's travelling kit and a drum of salt, both found at the farm. The previous occupants say they cleared it out when they left.
So they must be from the train gang.
Add in a palm print from a windowsill and a match with our records.
Give me the name, Morris.
My little angels.
Charles Frederick Wilson.
Yeah, that's right.
Detective Chief Superintendent Butler of the Flying Squad. This is Detective Inspector Williams. We'd like to talk to you in connection with the mail train robbery at Cheddington. You might have heard of it.
Well, I read about it, but I've never been there.
Well, my boys will search your house while you come with us.
You ain't got nothing strong enough to take me in.
Car's outside.
Listen, ring him, won't you?
Daddy, where are you going?
Listen, don't you worry. Be right back.
Hi, mate.
Do you know Cheddington in Buckinghamshire?
I've never been there in my life.
Leatherslade Farm at Brill?
I read about it in the papers. Look, I ain't been there. And no one can say I have.
Where were you on the morning of the 8th of August?
I was at Spitalfields Market. Left home at 5 and went to work.
Got any receipts for that day? Proof of business done?
It's a market. We don't give receipts. But I saw a couple of fellas. They'll vouch for me.
I've reason to believe they wouldn't be telling the truth.
What reason would that be?
That's for me to know, son. Tell him, Frank.
Charles Frederick Wilson, you will be detained and taken to Aylesbury Police Station, where you will be charged in being concerned with others in robbing a travelling post office train at Cheddington on the 8th of August, 1963.
Dinner time!
Hey!
Corned beef in your dreams. Oh, look, it's like feeding time at the zoo.
There we go.
Oi! That's mine.
Ah, you got to be quicker than that. Rugby training, you see. Fast on your feet. You should try it.
You are talking to the 1944 light heavyweight champion, Combined Forces Rhodesia. Now give me back my sandwich, or you will get a little right cross on that lovely jaw.
Oh, yeah? Let's see how it's done, eh?
You're the one that needs to be quicker, old son.
Overtime cards, please, lads. No cards, no pay. Thank you very much. Thank you kindly. Oh, cheese and pickle, my favourite.
Mr. Moore.
What's that?
Overtime cards for the squad. They're working all the hours.
Hope so.
Oh, yeah. What are they going to do? Walk out of themselves?
I think I'd like if you decide to pass Edwards, madam. Thank you for your help.
Buster Edwards. Somebody saw the photo we released. Phoned in. Got no address. Hey, lads, come on, quick.
Come on, lads.
What do you think? You're on a day off. Go on, get going.
All Forge Crescent, Shepperton. Neighbour rang in to see two people. The spit of Edwards and his wife had just moved in next door. Mr. and Mrs. Green.
Can't this heap go any faster, Jock?
Dave, Jules, neighbours.
Mr. Green, Mrs. Green. Open the door, please. It's the police.
On it.
Anyone here? No one here. House is empty.
Neighbours say they left about an hour ago.
Red Morris 1100. We'll try and find the plate number.
They didn't even have time to drink their tea.
We'll get fingerprints on it straight away, and we've sent out an alert on the car. Well, that's all we can do for now. All right?
We do not rest. They are not better than us.
Afternoon. I'll have a nice bunch of roses, please, sweethearts. Thank you very much, my darling. Have a lovely day.
What were you doing in Leicester, Goody?
A little day out. I've been staying at the Windmill pub in Blackfriars since you lot turned my old lady over. That lot in the paper, they're mates of mine, so I thought I'd keep out of the way.
Seen any of them lately?
No, Mr. Butler, I haven't.
Not around 3 a.m. on the 8th of August?
No.
Where were you then?
Over the water, Emerald Isles.
Ireland? Who with?
I'd rather not say.
What were you doing?
Shooting, bit of fishing.
Where'd you stay?
Never mind all that. How do you know I was at that hotel, anyway?
The hotel florist thought you were Bruce Reynolds. She saw his picture in the paper. Mistaken for your mate. Ah, it's unlucky, Goody.
Bloody glasses. Could have been worse. She could have thought I looked like Charlie.
Whose name did you cross out in your address book when we arrested you?
Name of a lady. I didn't want her involved in any misunderstanding.
Margaret Perkins.
Mr. Williams, please. We're both gentlemen.
Not one of your mates on the job, then?
I didn't do any job. I was drinking Guinness from the source.
Why did you make a note of the numbers on all the £5 and 10-shilling notes we found on you?
Just a precaution. Mistakes get made.
You ever been to Leatherslade Farm at Brill?
Mr. Butler, what would I be doing on a farm?
Preparing to commit a robbery.
Mr. Butler, please.
You weren't there on the morning of the 8th of August?
Ireland, Mr. Butler. Not Bucks, Ireland. You ever been? You should go. It's lovely.
You travelled to Belfast by air on August the 2nd with your little old mum and a man named Knowles.
That's right.
You stayed with a relative. You returned to England alone on Tuesday, August the 6th. Knowles and your mum travelled back together on Wednesday the 7th. So, you weren't in Ireland the night of the train robbery. Now, would you like a second go at any of my previous questions?
I think you can deal with my mouthpiece from now on, if you don't mind.
Released on an undertaking to return on the 7th of September. Without any matches on prints or forensics, we can't keep him.
You were shot in the face in the war, weren't you?
Yeah.
Commando?
I was. Italy.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, when I wasn't being shot in the face. You weren't in the forces yourself?
No, I was kept on the squad. I was lucky.
You have lots of cases?
Larceny, receiving, warehouse breaking. There's a type of man who saw the war as an opportunity, a golden period where normal rules didn't apply. While others were fighting for country and going without, this man thought he'd profit. I went after those men. I got plenty of them. This lot, train robbers, they're the same. Skimming off the top, easy targets. Other people who work hard for a living. Cowards with coshes. Talk to your people, Frank.
My people?
You know who I mean. I'm not pissing about any longer. I'll have every last one of this gang if it kills me.
Tommy Butler's got the bit between his teeth about the train robbery. Business is going to get very bad for every single man in this room.
Butler's gonna have me turning over every villain in South London till someone gives that gang up. Do we understand each other?
been a while.
Going my way.
You all right? How's work?
Fine. Yours?
Every day's a thrill, Tom.
Must have something on Goody. We know where he is. We've had him in. He must have left some trace at the farm.
These are his. From when he was holed up in London at the Windmill Pub. Size 10, brown suede true form.
He was involved, I'm sure of it.
So am I. I gave evidence against him at the airport robbery trial. He got off. As he walked out past the prosecution, he pulled apart a piece of evidence to show something I'd missed. Goody lied on oath and bragged about it to humiliate me.
He's not getting away with this one. We must connect him to Leatherslade Farm. These yours?
They look like mine. Can I have a closer look?
You ever loaned them to anyone?
They're shoes, Mr. Butler. Course not.
When you were being held at Aylesbury on August the 24th, Constable Price talked to you and offered you something to eat. You said to him, if you had my worries, you wouldn't want to eat. What did you mean by that?
I was worried. Worried about being fitted up.
PC Price then said to you, if you unfold your worries to me, would you feel better? To which you replied, no, brother. You'd probably be out digging for the money. Did Charlie tell you where his money was? Charlie Wilson, you meant. Buried your cut of the cash, did you? Same place as Wilson's?
I came back here complying with your bail. And now you're putting this on me.
Goody. We both know you were there. We've got the proof.
I'd like to speak to my solicitor alone now, if you don't mind, Mr. Butler. I know nothing of this matter, and I'm completely innocent.
Edwards, James, Reynolds. Where are they? Who's hiding them, especially Reynolds? Everything points to him leading this job. Tell your snouts we'll make it worth their while. I want him here. Now get on it.
Go on, Frank. Governor?
What?
The lads, well, they were just, you know, some of them are dead on their feet, exhausted. You've been working us, them, evenings and weekends, and then there's the wives and young kids. They never see them, you know, so maybe we could work something where everyone has one day off a week, you know, like a rota or something like that. Then we... I am finished.
Getting a bit much, is it? What do you want? Bit of time off on me? All expenses paid? A week in the Costa del Sol? Dinner out, drinks on the house, tarts on tap? While you're feeling sorry for yourselves, that lot are spending the money they nicked. They're living better than you, and you want time off?
Bloody hell, Frank. We said ask him on the quiet.
did you tell your mum about us?
Nothing.
Don't she ask?
No.
Your life. All in separate compartments.
Isn't everyone's?
No.
Morning, lads. Ready for the fight?
He's in a good mood.
Second Thursday.
What's so special about second Thursday?
Well, every second Wednesday, he sees his fancy woman.
Butler's bunk up night.
Morning, Sid.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Frank.
Morning, Governor.
What are we missing?
I met him once, Reynolds.
Is that a fact? Been keeping this little gem to yourself, have you, Frank? When did you meet him?
Just after the airport job. He was keeping an eye, you know. Funny thing is, he said, send my regards to Mr. Butler.
He said what?
Well, I told him you wouldn't have a clue who he was. He just smiled.
Where is he, Frank?
Sir, take your flat up the top.
Yes, it is.
How do I access it?
Through the back, upstairs.
Afternoon, madam.
Is there a problem, officer?
Patrolling the area and we noticed a ladder up against the wall of your flat.
A ladder?
We think there may have been an attempted break-in.
What, here?
Were you alone in the flat?
Well,
Do you mind if we take a look around?
All right, then. Officer, come on in.
All right, lads. Crikey, Charlie. Could you put some clothes on, sir?
Yeah, you caught us by surprise.
Apparently.
Oh, my lord.
It's all right, sweetheart. Might as well tell the truth.
Might we?
Yeah. Me and this good lady, we shouldn't be doing this. Well, her husband's due home in a couple of hours.
I see.
Yeah, we heard the door and we thought it was him. Well, she just panicked, didn't you?
It looks like the lady's flat may have been the subject of an attempted burglary.
You what?
Ladder up the outside. Must have happened while you were deep in conversation.
What? Cheeky bleeders, eh? Well, they didn't take anything.
Not even your clothes, sir.
Well, thank you, officer. Appreciate your vigilance, but as you can see, we're fine. Why don't you show the gentleman out?
Bruce Reynolds is the most wanted man in the country, and you didn't recognise him?
He said he was her lover.
He said what?
He was her lover.
He wasn't her lover, he was her husband. He was a train robber.
We didn't know.
You don't know anything, son. I'll be surprised if you could find your own arse. Get out of it.
Reynolds prints all round the place. Also, Roy James. Fingerprints on a dirty mug. Must have been visiting. Not long ago.
Potato sacks. Someone's left 2 potato sacks in a phone box.
And then called it in.
Which phone box?
Doesn't matter.
Only asking.
Corner of Great Dover Street and Blackhouse Court, SE1.
South of the river, see?
And there was no one around?
Not by the time we got there.
Well, open it up then, Tom. Let the dog see the rabbit.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah. Well? Well, this must have been buried. Buried in what?
How much do you think's there?
Tip-off said over 40 grand.
40 grand?
Even so, do we have to tip it on the floor? We'll be fumigating for months.
Sid, this cash stays in this office. You're sleeping here tonight till it goes to Aylesbury first thing.
You want me to sleep with that?
You've slept with worse. Can somebody answer that bloody phone?
Yeah, I said...
Right, never mind this sideshow. Get this cleared up and then concentrate on the villains.
So, Roy James, we found him. Word has come in from a female informant. Roy James is staying in a house in St John's Wood. Now, this is a plan showing all the entrances and exits. We've already got observation, front and back. We go there now, wreck the place, make our move tonight. We play this right, sir. We can have him.
Come on, Frank, we'll take my car.
Oh, really?
What's wrong with my car? Not the car I'm worried about.
What's that called?
We have men on the corner at Abbey Road and round the back on Carlton Vale. No one's coming in or out.
He's doing a bunk.
Go, boys.
Right, stay close.
Run up the stairs!
He's headed for the roof.
Get in there!
Come on!
Stop! Please! Stay where you are! He's on the roof! Stop there! Hey! Stop! Stand down here!
Evening.
That's nothing to do with me.
My experience, innocent men don't run.
Well, Shad, I'll open the door, get myself nicked.
When you were searched, we found £131. You normally carry around that amount of cash.
Sometimes.
2 of the £5 notes in your possession were serial numbers J695007 and J94284-281.
So?
Those notes were reported stolen by the National Commercial Bank of Scotland during the train robbery. Last night, they were in your pocket. In your holdall,
we found £12,041. Damp notes, like they've been buried. In the allotment, was it? Where you jumped? Very clever, your escape route, digging in the garden for a soft landing in case you needed it.
I know what you mean.
Also, in the holdall, we found this piece of paper with various figures on it. There's a list of banknote denominations, alongside a column of amounts.
That's not my writing.
Beneath the column of amounts, there's a list of expenditure. You might want to note just here. There's some £1,500 next to the word Brab. How's your new car, Mr. James? Brabham, isn't it? Congratulations, by the way. Your win at Cadwell Park, very impressive. The sum total of the amounts column comes to £109,500. Strangely close to the share some of the train robbers got. What do you call it? Whack. Is that the slang? Where's Bruce Reynolds?
Who?
Today sees the beginning of one of the most remarkable trials in British legal history. The men in court are accused of robbing a mail train of more than £2.5 million in August of last year. Aylesbury District Council chamber has been converted into a makeshift courtroom to accommodate the vast number of lawyers, public and press in attendance. If convicted of the robbery, the accused are expected to receive severe sentences.
All rise.
After a trial lasting 43 days, the jury has taken 63 hours of deliberation to reach a verdict.
Will the defendants please stand? On the charge of conspiring to rob Her Majesty's mail, how do you find the defendant, Douglas Gordon Goody?
Guilty.
On the charge of conspiring to rob Her Majesty's mail, how do you find the defendant, Roy John James?
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
Well done, Tom.
When grave crime is committed, it calls for grave punishment. Not for the purpose of mere retribution, but so that others similarly tempted shall be brought to the sharp realization that crime does not pay, and that the crime is certainly not worth even the most alluring candle. As the higher the price, the greater the temptation. Potential criminals who may be dazzled by the enormity of the price must be taught that the punishment they risk will be proportionately greater. I therefore find myself faced with the unenviable duty of pronouncing grave sentences. Charles Frederick Wilson, Roy John James, Ronald Arthur Biggs, Douglas Gordon Goody. You will go to prison for concurrent terms of 25 years on the first count and 30 years on the second. Roger John Caudry, in respect of the 4 counts, you must go to prison for concurrent terms of 20 years. Brian Arthur Field. The concurrent sentences of the court are that on the first count you will go to prison for 25 years, and on the 12th count you will go to prison for 5 years.
sentences of 30 years handed out to the great train robbers has caused a public outcry. Questions have also been asked in Parliament regarding the severity of the judgment. All those found guilty are to appeal.
Gentlemen, a toast!
The train squad.
The snitches.
Where will we move out? Where will we move out? Please, where will we move out?
Please, someone.
30 years. Bit steep, don't you think?
Shouldn't have done the job in the first place, should they?
That's it then, lads. Time to go.
Right, let's go to C11.
Okay, you take it up.
I've got him, sir. Buster Edwards. He surrendered, given a written statement.
I'll be in.
This is DCS Butler.
Where were you on the 7th and 8th of August, 1963, Wednesday night, Thursday morning?
No idea. A lot of time's passed. I'd say I was definitely indoors.
Indoors?
Definitely.
Where were you on the 6th of August, 1963, Tuesday?
I would have been indoors then, too. Unless there was boxing on. I might go and see the fights, if there was boxing.
Do you know Leatherslade Farm?
Yes. I was going to clean it up, but I got scared, so I didn't. I wasn't at the train. I've said so in my written statement. You've got it there.
Do you know the persons associated with the robbery whose photographs have appeared in the press and on television?
Some of them. I don't want to name them. It does no good.
Do you know Bruce Reynolds?
I don't want to answer that.
Why now?
What?
Why give up now?
1,001 reasons. They didn't matter on their own, but put together they do. My little girl, Nicolette, I want her brought up in England. She speaks better Spanish than English. My wife misses her mum and dad, wants them to see their granddaughter. She's been on at me. It ain't a normal life on the run. People are just after your money.
Now the money's run out.
I won't get 30 years like the others.
Not if you only cleaned up like you said in your statement. Is that right, sir?
Where's Bruce Reynolds?
No idea.
Service, MBE. Fine career, Tom. Congratulations. Here's to a well-earned retirement.
I don't want it.
Big bum?
I want to stay on. I want your dispensation to keep going.
You've got a pension coming.
Job's not done.
What job?
The train robbery, Reynolds.
I've got Frank Williams all lined up to take over. He's waited long enough as it is.
Not until I get Reynolds. I want to see it through. Please. So, Frank will understand.
Gonna miss you, Tom.
I'm afraid you're going to have to be patient a while longer.
What do you mean, you're retiring? You've done your time.
Like I told you, Frank, there's always a wanker boss.
Doc?
I've just had a very interesting telephone conversation. I fancy a drive.
Sir.
All ready, sir.
Hello, son. Is your daddy in?
He's in bed.
Is he?
Bruce is
Stay there.
Hello, Reynolds.
You took long enough. Your dad's done a few things he shouldn't. I'm gonna have to go away for a while now. You look after your mum. Do as she says, you be a good boy. You're the man of the house now. And remember, your dad loves you. He always will. Be lucky, son.
Time to go.
You know who to call. How'd you find me? Someone grasped? I heard you refused retirement. I'm flattered. I've been thinking of giving myself up for a while. All that stuff in the newspapers about me being the mastermind. I wouldn't pay too much attention to that.
Worried you'll get the same as the rest?
30 years. It's a disgrace. There's rapists and murderers doing less than half of that. 30 years for nicking a bit of cash.
Don't break the law, you don't get a sentence.
No guns, no violence.
Apart from the driver.
He got up and drove the train. He can't have been that bad.
Jack Mill's got shingles from the shock. His right hand shakes constantly. He can't sleep, he's off sick. He's a broken man.
How could we have known that had happened, eh?
He went to work that night, that's all. You and your mates ruined his life. You've been doing this long enough. Every crime has a victim somewhere. You haven't ever given them a thought.
You know what sending everyone down for 30 years does? It means every little crook takes weapons now. Guns on every job. Because if you're going to get 30 years without a gun, you might as well take one. Can't be any worse. The moment that judge did that, everything changed. Whole attitude. The moment he passed that sentence, he brought guns into every job.
It's always someone else's fault. Why'd you come back? Money run out for you too? You know what amazes me? You had no plan. From the second you took the cash, no plan at all. Just run and spend and hope. You're not stupid. But you're no mastermind. You got lucky, very lucky, but none of you were bright enough to ride your luck.
And the paint on Gordon's shoes? He's certain it was never there. He was done up. Convicted on false evidence. Bill Bowl was never in the gang. You got that wrong. You convicted an innocent man.
So a convicted liar is challenging me on the truth.
You know what's funny, Mr. Butler? You think you set the rules, but you've been chasing me for so long. Your life has been following what I do.
Not anymore. Why'd you do it? Job that big. Never gonna get away with it. You must have known that.
You've got to dream big, Mr. Butler. What are we here for, eh, if we don't make our mark? It was never just about the cash. It's the buzz. Building the team. Finding the job, planning the job, carrying it out. It's the camaraderie. Trusting other men with everything you know. With your life. You, above all people, should know what that feels like.